Hello. In our last session, we created a form, a HTML form. Using that form, we sent data to server. Even we uploaded a file into server. So I have shown you basically how a form works. In earlier session, I actually created a HTML form using which we submitted data to server. Okay, so we have seen so far the major elements of the HTML. We have seen how div tag works, how span works, how table works, how list items they are going to work along with the OL and UL. Okay, so we have seen block level elements, we have seen inline elements, we have seen form elements, and what are the different types of input in the form we have seen. Further, we are going to look into, they were mostly basics. Today we are going to, from today for 2 to 3 days, we are going to discuss much about CSS. We are going to delve much inside CSS and we try to understand the CSS in detail. Okay, we use more and more with the CSS because using CSS we basically style the content. Whatever content is getting displayed on the screen, we are going to style using actually CSS. In a better way, we can present if you know CSS well. So you understand the basics of CSS, internal CSS, external CSS, inline CSS. Also how to create actually. We will be learning few CSS tricks. CSS tricks also we are going to be learning in this. So using CSS, we actually separate the website's content from the style. Using CSS, we are going to separate the content from style. If CSS is not present, so everywhere the content and style should be very closely tied together. But with the help of CSS, we can separate the content and style. Okay. So using the CSS, borders, text, formatting features, effects of the links, background color, forecolor, then fonts. So all these actually we can accomplish with the help of CSS. So as I told, the style sheets can be defined in 3 different ways: inline style sheets, internal style sheets, and external style sheets. You have inline, internal as well as external. We have seen how to create inline style as well as internal style sheets. Now if you look at this form, HTML form, we have defined here 2 different styles. User input and user field title, they are starting with dot. That means this is a class based style. So in CSS, styles can be defined in 3 ways: element based style, class based style, and ID based style. Okay, so you have class based style, ID based style, and element based style. Now here when you use dot here, this is called as a class based style. This is exactly class based style. This class you make for the CSS style, this you can use with number of elements. With the number of elements you can be using, this is here a class based style. Similarly, you can do with element based style. For the all elements, same style will be getting applied. Okay, now for that I am going to create some other page. There I show you how to create a class based style, element based style, and other thing is ID based style. Let me show that. Now come to this here, then create a new web page. I am creating here a new HTML page. I name this as CSS styles demo. This is going to be HTML page, CSS styles demo, making it here. So So what I do now, here the skeleton for the page is created. The very first thing is I want to put a title for this. CSS styles. I named this one as CSS styles. Now here I want to define first of all with inline styling. That is the highest priority style sheet is inline style sheet. I will go with inline styling here. I take just paragraph element. For this I try to write inline styling. I am going to use here to demonstrate only the paragraphs in this. I use here paragraph, and here I write style. Here inside this I put color, say blue. I am going to put only blue color in this. Then followed by here font size, make this as 15 pt. This much big I would like to make this paragraph. Okay, see I am not specifying any width and height, therefore how much space is available in the right side on the screen it's going to use, because this is a block level element. This is a paragraph with this containing some sample text, this is a paragraph, this is a paragraph, this is containing some sample text, and it uses inline style. Like this we made this particular style here. Okay, and for this I want to use some padding also. Padding bottom I keep here, followed by some 30px I use. This is the first paragraph. This is what it's using here, inline style. Next I write here p. This is what inline styling. Now I go with the internal styling here. So this is using style tag. I can do this. Style type, here it is text oblique CSS. Like this, let us put. Now inside this, let me define some style. So I go with the class basic. Keep like para. So inside the para, I try to set here. Same I use. Even there also I am going to use same, but in a different way. Use it. These I apply. Okay, I am going to apply here. These are going to be the attributes, color attribute. For this, try to use red color. Font size is here, just 12 pt I use. Padding bottom must be 20 in this. I don't want to use more, I just want to use only 20 in this. This is what it is, a class based. This style is called as class based because it's starting with a dot here. This is called as a class based style. Now one more style I want to define, that is P. The paragraph itself I want to define. This is going to be now element based style. This is exactly element based style. Now I put here color. Okay, I am just going to copy this, but color I want to make this as here, say some green here. Font size is 14 pt. Padding I want to use 30px. So it is inline style, and this is what class based style, and this is here element based. Paragraph element, that is. So for all the paragraphs this can be getting applied, provided that it is not having any class and it's not having any, say, inline style. Suppose if you create a new paragraph, if you don't apply any inline style or if you don't apply any class, in such cases, so it's going to use this element based styling. Now come to this point here, then go with the another paragraph. Okay, so here Copy this and put here. This is a paragraph. It uses class based style. It's using here class based style. So therefore I set here class equal to para. I can put like this. As soon as I type here equal symbol, it's going to show with IntelliSense the para. This is what class based style I use. Next, once again I use some paragraph, keep like this here. Now this is a paragraph, put here. It uses element based, not class based, element based style. Like this we have. So this is the paragraph. It's using here element based style. Here for the first one we applied an inbuilt style, inline style. This should be coming in the blue color, but when you go with the class based style to the paragraph, you are applying class based style. So it should be getting printed in the red color, then followed by it should display this is a paragraph. It uses class based style, and with the last one it should print this is a paragraph. It uses element based style, and this should be green color. How this one renders? Let me see here. You can get in three different three different colors. First one, this is a paragraph. This is containing some sample text, and it uses inline style. And see how much gap you have between the first paragraph and second paragraph, because it's using here 30 pixels, say padding around that in the bottom. Okay, not around, complete exactly in the bottom. It's having 30 px. That means after content, it's going to provide 30 spaces, 30 pixel space. Similarly, when it comes to the second paragraph, this is using here class based style called as para. To define class based style, you use dot para that you are applying, and the last one is actually element based. You did not specify anything explicitly in this. We didn't specify anything explicitly in this. Still, it's showing some color. It is taking from the default one. So this is called as here default one. It's showing the default color for us. Because with paragraph you specified that if you put one more paragraph, same thing happens. So same thing is going to be happening in such cases. This is a second paragraph. This is some other paragraph I put. It uses element based style. So both of them are going to be in the green color. This one and this one. Okay. So here we are not using any class attribute or any style attribute. Style attribute we use to define inline style. Class attribute we use to assign existing class, CSS class. You may have to define somewhere within the same file or in some other file. So third one is going to be here. The P and T, we are using here two paragraphs. So for them we have an element based style. So we don't write anything separately for that. Neither we write style nor we write class. So automatically the style is going to be getting applied. Like this, the styles you can define. Class based style, then similar inline style, then other thing is what element based style. Further one more style we have ID based style. See how to define that. I put here something like this. PID, that's paragraph ID, I put like this, followed by inside this I define. Okay, I define like this. So here I put like background color yellow. I am going to make background color yellow, and color on top of this it is here black. Put like this. Okay, then font size, use here font size, put like here some 12 pt, 12 points we use for this. Okay, so these we specified here. Padding we use. Padding we let us take actually both in the left side, right side, top, everywhere. 10 px we use. Like this we have defined a paragraph ID, but only with one element you can use it, because IDs must not be getting duplicated. Now here right, but this can be getting applied with a ID, that is. So for paragraph only I would like to apply that. P we use here, P here followed by ID equal to, try to specify this as PID. Whatever we use with CSS, same we need to give here. Here inside this we set content. This paragraph element uses inline style based on ID. So, or it is using ID based style, like this we said. So when we render this, it must be getting displayed in background must be yellow color. On the top of that we should have a black color and font size 12 pt. Content around it must be 10 px. So now you in browser you have like this, you can have this way. Okay, we are having like this here. This paragraph is shown in the yellow color for us. Background is yellow. On top of that we have in the black color. Okay, this way the paragraph is getting displayed. Further, let us try to see here in this. Let us try to put any border. Can we change any border style? So border style we use here. Border radius we can use here. Border style followed by here. Whatever border you want to put, you can use from this. Solid border, whatever type of border you want to use, you can use. Now here once again, border left radius and right radius we use. Left radius is going to be 0.5 px. Similarly, border right radius border bottom left radius, bottom right radius, also here 0.5 px we use. How this looks, see now. Whenever we try to render, how this is going to be looking for us, see. Not much change actually in this. Okay, there is not much change. Fine. So whenever we use with div, probably that can be clearly seen. Now here anyhow, this is based on the ID. This is called as ID based style. We have defined a style with ID, so it can be available only with one particular paragraph, because normally ID must not be duplicated. If you look at this ID must not be duplicated. Therefore, try to use with only one ID. Here, therefore, CSS we defined in three ways. One is what here. First thing is internal but class based, internal element based, internal ID based. So internal, this is what exactly, class based. For that we use dot followed by name of the class. Then whatever properties you want to use with CSS, you can use. Here I am using color red, font size 12 pt, padding bottom 20 px I have used for the style, class based style. Okay. Similarly, for the element based, I use color green, font size 14 pt, padding bottom 30 px. When I want to use the element based, ID based, I have given it as PID, followed by I am specifying here background color yellow, color black, then font size 12 pt, then here padding is 10 px. So like this I have used it. This is what exactly it is, internal style. This is called as your internal style, and this is what here inline style. Along with the element I defined the style, so this is inline style and this is what internal style. Within the same document we write here. So you can use even external style sheets also. Okay, so external style sheet, with that you have many advantages. Styles we define in external style sheet. With the same styles you have to apply across number of pages. Try to create an external style sheet, then try to use them again and again. So that improves actually reusability. So you can reduce, you can use again and again. That's going to be our maintenance can become easy actually. File size is also going to be getting decreased. Bandwidth also will be getting decreased for the pages. In every page, if you define the style, whenever page is getting downloaded, the browser has to download every time the CSS. So here the flexibility also flexibility also getting improved here. So therefore, if you put in the external style sheet, that's having many advantages compared with internal or inline style. But if you want to use style only in single page, in such cases internal style can be better, and particularly if you want to use with one single element, you can use inline style. So here inline style has highest priority, then after that internal style, then external style, then only it goes with the default style. Cascading order is going to be inline style, then internal style, then followed by external style. Okay, so like this the styles are going to be getting applied for us. Okay, so whenever you look at the CSS, it has certain syntax. We have a selector followed by property and value. So this is what dot para is a selector, P is a selector, hash PID is going to be selector. So therefore inside this we define the properties and values. Properties and values we separate using colon. Color, colon red. Color is actually property, value is red. Font size is actually property, 12 pt is a value. Padding bottom is nothing but property, 20 px is value. So like this, here we have the properties. Whereas dot para is going to be here a class based selector. P is actually element based selector. Hash PID is actually ID based selector. So like this we have here. See, with CSS, whenever we nest one element inside the other element, nested element will take automatically. Nested element is going to take automatically the properties of the external, outside element. Suppose I have a paragraph. Here I have actually a ID based paragraph. Now inside this I would like to define. Here I would like to define some link. So what color gets applied for that? See, we use A here, href is equal to, try to set here default.aspx, then after that I put like this, the default page I set like this way I am trying to make a link. So see for this what style gets applied. Okay, what style is getting applied for this? So default dot page is coming here. 1 minute. Okay, so here I try to use some another paragraph inside this. Use paragraph. Okay. Okay, so what I do in this, I try to go with some div tag. I want to go with some div tag in this. I use here div. So some div based style I am going to define in this. I put here div followed by, I want to define some style in this. Okay, so style in this, here font size, I want to make as 20 pt, like this I take it 20 pt, I am taking here. Okay, so div I make like this. Then now suppose I go with div in this. I use a div, and here inside this I may have to use some span this is, then put here inside this sample text. Now just try to render this here. It is looking very much bigger. See, it's looking really very bigger. Reason, here span we are nesting inside the div. So whatever properties we have with the div, they are getting applied. This feature is called as here inheritance. So whenever we are nesting one element inside the other element, the nested element is going to be actually inheriting the properties, from the parent element. So span is nested inside the div. Div is going to parent element, span is child element. So this child element is actually inheriting from the div. From div it is actually inheriting. So like this CSS can be, the styles can be getting inherited. Here for div I have defined a font size. So font size getting applied here for this. Okay. So it is getting defined here like this. Now let us try to see a paragraph and see how this works. Paragraph, here write this para in div. This para is in div, put like this. So this paragraph you are trying to put inside the div. Like this I am setting here this one. So normally for paragraph what kind of style is needed? Color must be green, font size 14 pt, padding bottom 30 px. Okay, whenever we use with the div here, what is happening? This para is in div, span sample text. Render this, how this one is going to look. So this is coming with normal color, but this is using here actually some bigger size, font size is bigger. Reason, for this para we have a style, predefined style is available, that is getting applied. If there is no style associated with the child element, in such cases it can inherit from the parent. So otherwise what happens? It's going to use actually, if there is no style associated with say the child element or nested element, what happens? It can inherit from the top level element. So in the div I am putting paragraph, so whatever styles are there in the paragraph, they can be applied to here in this they are getting applied. But if there are no styles associated with paragraph, then it can take the it can inherit from the div that can be inherited. So now come to this and change here, what will happen? See, come to this here, then change. Whatever I have defined here, I just want to comment it. I would like to comment this particular thing. Going to comment it. So I commented, it's multi-line comment made. Now render. So when we render, they should look with the same size. They should be looking in the same size. Okay, see render now, this one. They have now this para is in div, sample text like this. This is using here same style. Both of they are using actually same font size now. Because there is no style associated with paragraph, because of that it is actually inheriting from the parent there. So it's inheriting from parent, then with that style it's the style is applied to the paragraph. Now what we do? Again we here revert it. That means we uncomment this. Now if you see, the paragraph is going to be coming with the green color, whereas the span is going to be showing with the black color with bigger font size. See, this is a smaller font size and this is bigger font size. Like this the styles are getting applied here in this. So styles get applied like this here in this. One is what? Class based, element based and ID based. So this is again an element based. Here whenever you nest one element in the other element, top level elements attribute properties will be inherited to child element, provided that there is no associated style with the child element. Like this it's getting here inherited. It's going to inherit it in this manner. Okay, so sometimes what happens, we have to combine selectors, more than one selector you need to combine. So therefore in such cases you can use a mechanism something like this here. So all the block level elements, they have to be displayed with same color. Okay. Okay, for that I use another page. Go to this, then here define a new page. Add HTML page, CSS styles. Once again I make one more page. This is what CSS styles. We make it, and now I want to combine the selections. I can be combining here selections. So let me go with selections in this. More than one, selector should have here same type of, same color is required and same type of font they have to use. Okay, I am not talking about actually font sizes, but they should have same kind of, say, font color, background color. Okay, then similarly color, background color and font they should use. Okay, the sizes may be varying there. Therefore, here you put like P, then followed by div. You should have here span, then H1. Similarly, OL, they have to use same kind of thing. They should have same kind of thing. So therefore, put in this manner. Or else try to put here, instead of saying OL, we use LI, list item. So whatever list item is there, they should take sizes like this. So paragraph, then div, then span, H1, LI, they must be using same color. Color should be here always, say here green. All of these have to use a green color. Okay, similarly we use here font family, they have to use only Arial. They must be using only Arial. They have to use only Arial. Like this we are combining here styles. So they must be using here only the Arial, and for them, okay, like this we have defined. They should use Arial and color must be always green. Now here I want to come to body. The body I just want to define first of all a div. This is sample text in div. Okay, though we have associated style for this, here I want to change certain other properties. Therefore I apply style here, style I use, then here font size I want to make it bigger for this. Font size, for this I want to make this as 20 pt. It should be looking much bigger. It should be looking much bigger, like that I want to make it font size. So by default, for paragraph, for div, for span, for H1, for LI, color must be green and font family is Arial. But here size is going to be bigger. Now next, here I use inside this a paragraph. This time I am going to use paragraph. This is a sample text in paragraph. Okay, so here also I want to apply certain style. So go with the style here, followed by specify font size. Then specify here font size. This should be some 14 pt, like this I said. This is going to be font size. Now see inside this how they are going to be looking. See, as per this combining of selectors, all of them should come with green color and font family must be Arial. So when you look at div, only the font size must change, and similarly with paragraph, the font size must change. Now render this one to browser. Okay, there is something wrong in this. Due to that, it's not getting rendered. Reason I think I haven't used their style tag. I must use here style tag. Without that I try to do it, it's giving error. Therefore use here style. Okay, type equal to text oblique CSS, we use here close, cut it, then here try to put, save it, render this again. You can see both of they look in green color, but for the first one the font size is bigger, for the next one the font size is not bigger. Like this is getting displayed here for us. So therefore here this is what exactly paragraph, div, span, h1, li they are going to be using here. Same color, same font family, but only font size is going to be changing. And apart from that, if you want to apply any styles inline, you can do it. Okay, whatever styles are not overridden, they are going to be taking from this default ones. So whatever styles you are overriding in the inline, so they will be applied here. So by default, the color of the div is what? Green here, and font family Arial. Okay, here we haven't written anything related to, say, the font size. Even if you write, if you specify that in the inline, it's going to be changing. Now let us look at h1. To the h1 you don't want to apply that, therefore go with the h1 here. Normally by default what happens, see in this is sample text with h1. We show this way with heading 1. With heading 1, how this looks, let us see. So it is looking like normal h1 only. With normal h1 it's looking bold and somewhat bigger font. With that it's getting displayed here for us. It's getting displayed that way. Let me close this, otherwise every time this is creating some disturbance for us. Okay, now come to this point here, and now here what happens, see. This is sample text with heading 1 we get. H1 is displaying with sample text heading 1. So here all the things are getting applied from the H1 except color and font family. Font family is Arial and color is going to be green, with that getting displayed. We are overriding those, otherwise the default ones are taken into consideration. Now suppose you want to override here the color as well as font family. You can override here, take style equal to, put here color red. Let us use red color, don't change font family, only color will be overridden for h1 now. By default it should be green color, but we are going to override in this. For this one element we are going to override it. So view in browser, this is coming in the text color now, red color, sorry, it's coming in the red color. If you go with another h1, it takes default values again, h1, then followed by here write, this is sample text with heading 2. We can write like this. Just render now this time. It's showing in the green color. The above one is showing in red color. This is showing in the green color. So it is taking actually the default values, color green, font family Arial, and whatever h1 properties are there, they are taken. So like this you can be declaring more than one style, like this with selector. So all these selectors like say the paragraph, div, span, h1 and li are going to be using here same type of color and font family. These are called as element based selectors. We have seen in the other example class based selector, id based selector, and this is what here, element based selector. Like this we use here element based. This is also called as selector. CSS selector, this is paragraph selector, div selector, span selector, h1 selector, li selector, and these are called as element based selectors. And here in this we have say class based selector, this element based selector, this is what id based selector. Like this we have here three different types of selectors, a class based selector, element based selector, and other thing is what, id based selector. We can have three different types of selectors in this. Apart from that you can use actually inline styles. You can even do with the inline style. Here we use inline style, color blue, font size 15, padding bottom 30 px. So like this we can define the styles. These are very simple because the page is not quite complex. We have used only few things in this. We are using just only few things. Okay, so here one is what inline style we are using, as well as internal also we use. When you write in the header section the styles, it is called as here inline style. Okay, so here we have written inline styles. Similarly, we can go with the internal also. This is what, this is internal and this is inline. This is going to be inline, this is internal. We defined here internal styles as well as inline. Apart from these two types, you can do with the external style sheet. In a file you can define, then you can use that file in the current page. In the current page, you can use style which is defined in a other page. So they are called as CSS files. We can use CSS files that we can use. Okay, so in CSS we are going to use sometimes margins. Let us come into the properties, CSS properties. So CSS basically uses a box model. See, whenever you take any HTML element, you have a box model, margins, then border size, followed by padding and content size. Like that, we have a box model. In the case of box model, you may have a HTML element that may contain some content. So around that, first of all, you have margins, left margin, top margin, right margin, bottom margin. Then after that, you may have a border. So after border, you can be having some padding. Then you have content width, content height, content length, so you can calculate that way the CSS box model. CSS follows certain box model. Okay, CSS follows some certain box model. So here, therefore, margins are also very important. Margin property is going to be declaring, say, the margins, margin, left side margin, right side margin, top margin, bottom margin. So it is going to be, making margins between the elements and elements around it. There can be other elements around the current element. Okay, so the margin property can be set for the top, for the bottom, for the left and for the top. So we have margin top, margin left, margin right or margin bottom, or you can go with all equally. You can just put margin followed by some value when you give, it gets applied for all of them equally. Okay, whenever you want to set the margin, either you can use length or you can use percentage or you can use there some auto. Okay, so you can be using length, you can be using percentage or you can be using auto in that. So here margins we can set on the top, in the left side, in the top, in the bottom, we can set that way. So you can show in pixels, you can show in percent. Okay, so margins are going to be very important because they can be putting some margins between the current element and around it there may be few HTML elements. In between them they are going to be setting some margins. Okay, so margin values can be set to length or set to percentage or it can be auto.